Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai Linux News. We're kicking things off with some major kernel news. According to Phoronix, the Linux 7.2 RC6 release candidate just dropped, and this one is absolutely massive. We're talking about a ton of changes and fixes heading into the stable release, which should arrive in about 2 weeks if all goes according to plan. The team has been working hard to iron out bugs and optimize performance across the board. If you're running the latest kernel versions or testing release candidates, now's a great time to put 7.2 RC6 through its paces and help catch any remaining issues before the final stable release hits. But here's where it gets interesting. As Phoronix is reporting, one of the critical fixes in this release candidate addresses a pretty significant issue with AMD Zen 5 processors. These chips were being mistakenly identified as Zen 6 CPUs by the kernel, which could cause all sorts of performance and compatibility problems. The x86 fixes merged for 7.2 RC6 specifically target this CPU identification problem, making sure the kernel properly recognizes Zen 5 architecture. This is especially important for users with newer AMD processors who need accurate CPU detection for optimal system performance. If you're running Zen 5 chips, this fix should make a real difference in how your system behaves. Shifting gears now, let's talk about something exciting happening in the desktop world. KDE Plasma is gearing up for version 6.8, and according to Phoronix, this release is bringing some seriously impressive performance improvements, especially for users with multiple GPUs or external graphics processors. The Kwin display server is getting optimized to handle multi-GPU and eGPU scenarios much more efficiently. If you're running a setup with discrete graphics cards or Thunderbolt-connected external GPUs, you're going to see noticeable speed improvements when this drops. This is the kind of work that really elevates the desktop experience, whether you're a content creator using external compute resources or a gamer with multiple cards in your system. Over in the mobile Linux space, there's solid progress to report. Phoronix is covering Ubuntu Touch's development roadmap following the release of version 24.04 to 2.0. The community-maintained mobile flavor of Ubuntu is making strides toward the upcoming 26.04 release, with plans to integrate Vulkan graphics support and roll out major app updates. This is particularly exciting because it shows continued momentum for Linux-based mobile computing, even in a market dominated by Android and iOS. Ubuntu Touch remains one of the most viable options for running a full Linux distribution on a smartphone, and these improvements to graphics capabilities and the application ecosystem are making it increasingly competitive. Now here's something that's been a growing concern in the GNOME community. As reported by Phoronix, GNOME developers have been dealing with an increasing flood of low-quality, AI-generated shell extensions cluttering their ecosystem. In response, the project is working to establish a formal request for comments, or RFC process, to help maintain quality standards and streamline how features and changes are proposed. This isn't just about fighting bad AI-generated code. It's about creating a structured way for the community to propose, discuss, and implement improvements to GNOME. It's a smart move that should help protect the integrity of the project while still remaining open to community contributions. In some sobering news from the Arch Linux community, Phoronix is reporting that Morten Linderud, known in the community as Foxboron, has announced his resignation from the Arch Linux project. This is significant because Linderud has been a cornerstone of the Arch community for a full decade, serving as a core developer, security team member, and AUR maintainer. His departure marks the end of a major era in Arch's development. While the project will certainly continue, losing a contributor of his caliber and experience is always a major moment for any open-source project. The reasons behind his departure reflect broader conversations happening across the open-source community about burnout, community dynamics, and the challenges of maintaining large projects. Looking ahead to future kernel developments, Phoronix is reporting that the upcoming Linux 7.3 kernel will begin laying groundwork for Intel's newest innovation, Starfire. This is a space-grade system-on-chip derived from Intel's Panther Lake architecture, specifically designed to survive in extreme environments. We're talking outer space extreme. The first Intel Starfire-specific patches are expected to land during the Linux 7.3 merge window. It's pretty cool that Linux is preparing to support hardware this cutting-edge and specialized. This kind of forward-thinking support shows how the Linux kernel remains at the forefront of supporting the latest and most advanced computing platforms, from consumer devices all the way to spacebound systems. While we're talking about upcoming kernel features, Fornix is also highlighting that Linux 7.3 will be bringing support for Qualcomm's Adreno 704 and Adreno 722 GPUs. The Qualcomm MSM DRM kernel graphics and display driver updates were posted for the upcoming merge window. This is important for anyone running Linux on Snapdragon-powered devices, as it means better graphics performance and stability. Whether you're running Linux on high-end mobile devices, IoT hardware, or other Snapdragon-based systems, these GPU driver improvements will make a real difference in how well your system performs. Thanks for tuning in to Genai's Linux News. If you found this roundup helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more of the latest Linux and open source updates. See you in the next one.